Throughout history, some sort of Iranian or Persian government has fought the Ottomans 12 times. During these wars, the Ottomans may have won them or the Iranians, but they both had a similar fate, fallen prey to outside powers. In the case of both of them, they were the British and Russians. The British and Russians ended up partitioning Iran to spheres of influence, and the Russians were able to continuously weaken the Ottomans, supporting the Christians of the empire, and the British ended up carving them up in the final years of their existence. But there was another nation the Ottomans fought a lot against. That was the Austrian Empire. The Austrians were led by the Habsburgs during these wars, but they both had a curious end. The Ottomans and the Austrians worked for their final war together. Well, the Habsburg Austrians in particular. This was curious, but what if Iran was in the war? Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Victor, this is Vicpool. If you don't know what today's scenario is, somehow from the thumbnail or title, today we are doing a scenario on what if Iran joined World War I. Now, this is one of two scenarios. After the 4th of July, I will be making another one. At some point in August, you will see one of these videos, but it's not the one of today. It's the other one. But what are we doing today? Iranian entry into the Central Powers, doing the pulling the Habsburg and working with the Ottomans for their final war. Well, the way they are. Or will they pull an attack against the Ottomans for the last time? A 13th war. We'll find out today. Yeah, you will, because they will join the Central Powers. So yeah, let's get on with the scenario. We first need to discuss how World War I actually went. World War I started with the Serbian nationalist, part of the organization called the Black Hand, assassinating Austro-Hungarian Archduke Franz Ferdinand. This made the world into a sudden outrage and shock, and eventually the Germans and Austro-Hungarians attacked Serbia, but especially Austria-Hungary. The Russians declared war on Austria-Hungary, and Germany was in the war as well. Then the French declared war, but the British weren't in it yet. In the initial stages of conflict, Montenegro also joined, but the British were shocked, but they were leaning towards the Entente, as if they let Germany win, Europe as a whole would become a part of their influence. So they would support the Entente for the most part, but they did join especially when the Belgians and Luxembourgs got invaded. Well, Belgium mostly, Luxembourg kind of just let Germans go through. This caused a British declaration of war, and the German Kaiserreich would now be officially at war with Britain. Eventually, Bulgaria joined the conflict, splitting Serbia. The defeat of the Serbians was a shock, but soon Montenegro also fell. Meanwhile, in the Black Sea, the Ottomans had struck Russia and declared war, but failed to do a lot. They soon attacked Russian occupation zones in Iran, and British ones as well. British forces in Arabia and that area were attacking the Ottomans, but same with British forces in Egypt. It was becoming a global conflict. This is where Iran could have came into the play. So what if they did pick a side? Well, in our timeline, they had mainly two camps: staying neutral and joining the Central Powers. In the next video, we'll cover a made-up third camp, but for now, it'll just be these two. Well, in our timeline, the staying neutral one was successful in putting their ideology. But what if the Central Powers won out? In its alternate timeline, around 1915, the Iranians joined the war. The same year, 1915-16, were the years Serbia capitulated. Italy had also joined the conflict, but for the most part it was a Central Powers victory in Europe. Now in Asia, though, it was a different story. The German colony in the region would be taken out by Japanese and Chinese forces, especially Japanese ones, as German Qingdao would be seized by both. Now the Russians would face it worse, as after the Brusilov offensive, a Russian offensive into Austria-Hungary, the Romanians had joined. The Romanians would get pushed back, and now Russia would have multiple front lines. The Caucasian one would not go well. Meanwhile, Gallipoli would be launched, and of course, as we all know, failed. Later on in 1917, the Russians capitulate. The Japanese do their thing in the Far East, trying to seize the region. Many Entente forces would be sent to the region, mainly post-war though. The Central Powers, minus Bulgaria, would definitely take a lot of spheres of influence. Central Asia would definitely be Iranian. But then the Greeks joined in 1917 as well, capitulating Bulgaria and the Ottomans. The Ottomans would sign a peace deal reluctantly with the British. Eventually, the Austro-Hungarians would collapse under the pressure, allowing Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Austria, Hungary, and now Poland and a bigger Romania to be formed. Even Italy took a bit. But then, who was this? Is this Hungary? Yes, it is. Poland, what are you saying here? Yeah, no, you do look like Indonesia, don't you? The French were rather happy with the peace deal, but it would cause many conflicts post-war. Meanwhile, Germany would get partitioned, and land would be taken by all these nations. Britain, France, Poland, the Union of South Africa, Australia, Japan, Lithuania, Denmark, and Belgium. The Americans arbitrated the peace deal for the most part. Iran would have an unfavourable peace deal, where part of Azerbaijan, or we call Azerbaijan, and part of the Kurdish majority regions would also become separate. And the British would take over Balochistan, and the remainder of Iraq would take a bit more. Now, when I say British, I actually mean the British Raj would take over a bit of land. Good for them. Now, this is where I decided to try and make it into 3 camps. 1, where it's mostly just the same but a smaller Iran. 2, where Iran goes communist into a period. And 3, where they go fascist. Why is Greece? But I choose to go down the fascist path. Does this mean I have to make a communist video one day? Yes, it does. That'll be fun, won't it? I have to do this Iran has turned out to be a 2-parter so far. And it's spread out to be 2. And now gonna become way more. But this is the Nazi one, and for some reason the British and Soviets just kind of let this happen. Okay. And, well, for some reason again, the Soviets and Germans started to change their treaty, the secret clauses of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. What's that? You don't know what that was? Well, the secret clauses were the clauses that split up Eastern Europe. And in our timeline, they didn't involve Turkey, or as you may call it, Turkey. But I call it by its official name as well as I can. So, Turkey will now be a part of the Soviet sphere, and so will Bulgaria for some reason. I don't know. The Germans just let that be. Also part of Romania, but I haven't seen no accident. Syria and East Asia will take their part. And I just wanted to make a change. Finland, in this timeline, actually does agree to give up their land. Or if they don't, doesn't matter, they still lose. Around 1940, though, the Soviets invade Turkey, where, in the peace deal, they seized lands in the northeast that had Armenians historically, and the Bosporus, which they always wanted to take over. The rest of Turkey isn't communist, but it's way weaker. Now, in 1941, the Balkans would be conquered due to Italy failing to conquer Greece. Now, in this timeline, Turkey will also join, taking the Aegean Islands, and Bulgaria ends up joining these invasions as well. But then, Operation Barbarossa, both Bulgaria and the Soviets get betrayed. Bulgaria would be the initial loser, along with the Soviet Bosporus territories. Then, Turkey and Iran would do pretty well against the British and Soviets. Meanwhile, against the Soviets, they'd be pushed back historically, but not as much because German forces had to be used elsewhere as well. Bulgaria and potentially even the Middle East and Caucasus. Of course, Pearl Harbor happens, and we just skipped to 1943 because 1942 isn't the most eventful. Italy is being beaten up by Egypt and Ethiopia. Man, Mussolini's an idiot. So yeah, moving on. The Axis operations wouldn't go straight to Sicily as they show here for some reason. They'd instead go into Anatolia to make sure they can't get pushed back. They also attack Iran. They do another Gallipoli landing, this timeline being more successful due to Yugoslav Bulgar partisans existing in the northeast, pushing towards the city of Antioch, which may have already been captured. I don't know. I'm really bad. Then, around 1944, Iran has capitulated due to communist Kurds and just the British and Soviets pushing down. But in 1943, a year earlier, the Soviets started pushing back Germany. Poor Romania got stabbed and, hungry froze. Let's go. That's the fate of the situation right now. Meanwhile, 1944, somehow Italy's been occupied a bit by the Soviets, so, this is what happens. I'm the real Italy. No, I'm the real Italy. No, I'm the real Italy. We'll see who wins that later. Then D-Day happens in 1945 instead. And look at that. Switzerland, that's nice. Well, enjoy your popcorn, I guess. Oh, there goes one of the Italies. And the Germans get pushed back. Oh. You seriously need to stop doing that, Netherlands. I'm disappointed. Then, in mid-1944, 1946, Munich? Zurich? What's that? They're just nuclear wastelands. And somehow Japan still gets the same treatment. In this alternate peace deal, Austria and Germany are split, but Germany loses a bit more, and Schleswig-Holstein is Danish now. And Denmark's also communist now. The People's Republic of Denmark. Your Legos? No. Our Lego. And, look at that. Italy actually got split in two. So did Iran. And since Bulgaria still got Macedonia and parts of Greece, they got compensated by being given Thrace. Well, that's Greece. And Greece and Yugoslavia got to split up Albania. That's cool. Yugoslavia also got all of Trieste. So now the Iron Curtain is set. A Cold War is being formed. But it's very different into our timeline. Who will win out is up to you to decide. Comment down below if you want a part 2. But that's all, everyone. Please like and subscribe for more videos. And I'm kind of desperate. I want 4th of July video ideas, okay? I want to make an alternative history for 4th of July for good old Americans that are watching this video, I hope. So, like and subscribe and comment down ideas. And also comment down if you want a part 2. If you want a part 2, I'll probably work on that first, after the 4th of July, so stay tuned. I'll be working on more great content made in IBS Paint, as you can clearly see from the bottom. But thank you, and have a great time. I hope you all have a great time, but I won't be. I have my Year 6 SATs tests. If you know what that means, it's just the big school tests at the end of Year 6. And what does that mean for you Americans? I don't know, Google it. I'm too lazy. Sorry. Bye.